Assalamu alaikum and good morning, friends. Today I'm going to explain to you the process of a training need assessment or training need analysis. You can well imagine the importance of this process by just understanding one point that we can bridge performance gaps within the organization and can see the difference between the desired level of performance and the existing level of performance. But before moving forward, let me request to you that to subscribe my channel Wasim Zahid, like it and share it, and if you have any questions you can ask me. Secondly, I just want to stress the importance of TNA by telling you, by sharing two success stories of organizations who conducted TNA and acquired results, and they worked on it, and they see the essence, and they see the success because of this intervention. Number one is in Canada, TD Bank introduced TNAs, and why they introduced, because there was a problem of robberies within TD, and they introduced this model in 2008 and rolled out the overall training and development process within the organization in 2009, January 2009. And they see the results after months, and see the 41% reduction in cost losses, and also 11% reduction in robberies. They received a silver award from Canadian Society for Training and Development in 2010. Until 2016, they trained 21,000 employees on this module, and see the better results. The second example is Shanghai International Airport in China, and there were delays because of the smoke during winter months. So they introduced a training after conducting TNA, and they found that because of the skill level deficiency in landing during smoke, so they worked on it, and they introduced auto landing training, and see the wonderful results where after the training the pilots were able to land even zero visibility environment. So let's see what this module is, the training need analysis process, and how can we understand it and later on implement this model within our organization. First of all, we see the itch, what is the problem, what is the concern, and then we see whether this concern or itch is important. If we relate this concern with the cost and the customer satisfaction element of the organization. If the problem is important and genuine, then we move forward, and if it is not important and there is no relevance, then we terminate this process at this very point. Then we consult the stakeholders who are associated with this within the organization and with this overall concern. And in stakeholders, there's a top management, managers, employees, or the collective representatives of these employees. After consultation, we just start collecting information, and in the next slide you will see, on the next page you will see that how to complete this process in its entirety. So in this process, the training need analysis, we start from the organizational analysis. In the organizational analysis context, the first element is strategic alignment. where we see the organization's mission, vision, goals and objectives, because we can't digress from these basic or foundation level or the pivotal context of the organization, which is very close to its overall intervention within the organization and in the market. Then we move on to the environment. We analyze the environment, and in this context, we analyze the element of new technologies, competitors, recessions, trade agreements, and government regulations. So these are the external environments where we have to check each and every element individually and how it affects the overall organizational performance. The third one is resource analysis, because we know that every organization has limited resources, and in terms of money, time, and expertise, no one organization is self-sufficient. So this is very critical, whether we can initiate this process and move forward. And the last element is organizational context. It is very important and divided into multiple points. The first thing is people, feelings, attitudes, and values, and overall we call it organizational climate. And in this climate, there are two elements which are very important. Number A, training transfer climate, whether the organization is and its people, they are receptive or not, they welcome or accept this change or not. And that second B point is continuous learning culture. If there's a continuous culture, learning culture is available, and we can foresee the future coming results after this intervention, then there's a certain level of success in the whole process. The second element is task analysis, where we identify target jobs and obtain descriptions. Descriptions means the task and the specific duties. The third point is develop rating scales from the level of not acceptable to acceptable or no comments at all. So on this rating scale, there are three things which are very important. The importance of the task, its difficulty, and the frequency of the task. So we consider all these three elements within this context. And fourth point is survey incumbents. In surveying incumbents, we consider supervisors and subject matter experts. And then we analyze and interpret information after overall task analysis, and then we provide feedback to the small groups of managers and employees. But here in task analysis, there are two more points, and they are very important. Number one is cognitive task analysis, CTA, where we see and measure mental processes and mental skills. And the second point is team task analysis, where we measure team knowledge, skills, and attitudes, because in the modern working environment, in the most of the organizations, we work within the teams. And the third point is person analysis, where we analyze persons, employees, staff, and so we see we analyze, define desired performance. First of all, this is very important, in which we say the standards and the acceptable level of performance. We explain it, and then we determine the gap, and after determining the gap, we identify obstacles in the overall process. So this is, you see that this process is very important, where we help the organization to see the obstacles, the problems, the irritants, the itch of the organization, and then we suggest, and there are the outcomes in the suggestions, or the outcomes are we identify the gaps, we provide solutions to the gaps, we also provide information where the training is needed, the type of training which is needed, and who needs to be trained. We can identify and we can pinpoint exactly who should be the part of this training. And then other details like specification of learning objectives, how training should be designed and delivered, and the development of criteria for evaluation, which is, by the way, the last point of this overall process. So you see how this TNA helps the organization to find obstacles, to find gaps, and suggest ways to improve the performance of the organization. And in the example of TD Bank Canada and Shanghai International Airport example, you can you can see how training is important and how it can help us to save cost and ensure customer satisfaction. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your time. See you.